Hello everybody and welcome back to GameRant.com. I'm Anthony Taormina, Editor-in-Chief of the website. It's mailbag time. We got something in here that is part of a category that you know I am very fond of, which is portable power. Big fan of portable power. Laptops, handhelds, phones, devices, you always need power. They're always running out of battery. So this is something that will be a potential thing that will help you out. So let's get into it. Open it up. I'll talk about it. We'll check it out. Ooh. All right, so this is the 4Patriots Voyager XL. Now this is a power bank, but this is like a hefty power bank. So inside the box, as you can see, you get your Voyager XL. You get an AC power adapter and a user guide. You might say to yourself, okay, that seems fairly standard. And I think, at first blush, you might think this is fairly standard. But, number one, here's your booklet. This is a big old honking boy. But, it's not so big that it's unruly to fit in a backpack. You know, it's the size of like, you know, one of those paperback books that's really hefty, like a Game of Thrones. Probably even smaller than a Game of Thrones paperback. But this is a big hefty boy. And the cool thing about the Voyager XL, or the reason that I wanted to show it off, is, you know, most power banks, they give you a ton of juice, and this does as well. They say up to 90 watt hours of juice. You could charge your phone or keep it continuously charging for like 19 hours or something. But the big thing is that it's got a power outlet on the bottom. So not only, as you can see, do you get those USB-A connectors, you get the USB-C connectors, and then you also get a plug. So you might think to yourself, like, this seems super useful for all kinds of situations. Well, 4Patriots says that this can come along as your carry-on on a plane. It is plane safe. It is the only one, at least as the time of me recording this video, according to 4Patriots. I searched around, couldn't find anything. Like, you have to have a certain size, and there's requirements about putting battery packs or power banks or things like that on planes, especially in your checked luggage. I don't know if this works in terms of the checked luggage, but you can have this around and you can actually like plug in your laptop or something. But so you're getting your power in, comes through USB-C, so it's 60 watt in, and then you get 100 watt out from the USB-C. At the top, you get 60 watt from that USB-C on the bottom, and then you get 5 volt, 12 watt max from those USB-As. But then the big one is the 120 watt max plug there. So like for most laptops, that's going to be good enough. Let's check out the booklet and see if it has any kind of main. So it holds 96 watt hours of power, and then it can power any device up to 120 watts. So I would imagine like you're gonna kind of be bound by how many devices are connected. But then you've also got one of my favorite things about power banks. You've got a screen there, we'll check that out. An LCD screen, you got an AC outlet on off button. And then you, on the side here, you get a port for plugging in your power adapter to charge it. It said it takes like roughly 90 minutes to get this like fully charged, which is quite impressive. So just for those who maybe are curious, you do get, so here's like part one of the power adapter and part two. So you are looking at like a pretty big space commitment in terms of charging, and then like a fairly sizable commitment if you're popping this into a backpack. It's not the end of the world, but I think like that's super useful. So you, on the screen, I'm seeing your percentage that it's filled. Hopefully that plays. It says 44%, and then it'll empty in 99 hours, I think is what that means. So it says empty and it says 90 hours. So let's, just to give you guys like a sense of that display. So if we popped this USB-C cable, plug it into my phone, so it shows you like your output. I always appreciate that, like what output you're given. being able to know like what's drawing power. But theoretically, phones don't draw a ton. Laptops are like your big power hungry things. So if you wanted to have that plugged into this outlet and then you wanted to share some of your USBs with your Switch 2 or your Steam Deck or something like that, you would be able to kind of share that power there. It really ultimately depends on your use case. This is not cheap. It's $299.99. So you're looking at a commitment. I think having this along for like a road trip or something would be super useful. I think having this around like for a long flight would also be useful. You're never guaranteed to have a plug, an outlet, anything. Like, I don't fly a lot, but even my limited experience flying, and I am flying more and more, is you just learn, like, sometimes you get an outlet and it's amazing. Sometimes you just get a USB-A port and it's low wattage. It's just like keeps your phone from not draining, but doesn't charge it. So having something like this to be able to run a bunch of devices and be able to do your work, watch your movies, play Switch, do whatever you want to do, that's pretty neat. And that's super useful. And then 96 watt hours, like that's insane. And that's huge. And then these also come in 3-packs. You can buy a 3-pack and you get solar panels, but you can also, I think from 4Patriots, pick up solar panels. So you got a lot of options there. I always appreciate these screens though. I think it's pretty solid. I will be testing it out, checking out how it works, and I'll report back on socials and stuff how I feel about it overall. But it's hefty. Like it's still substantial. I know that like they tried to probably make it as small as possible, but it's gonna add some weight to a backpack, or you're not just gonna be able to like easily carry it around and not notice, but it's also not giving you that kind of lower end in terms of the power you get. So it's a trade-off. But yeah, this is the 4Patriots Voyager XL. It's available on 4Patriots website, $299.99. Thanks to 4Patriots for sending us in this power bank and letting us feature it in today's Game Rant Mailbag. I'm Anthony Taormina. Have a great rest of your day.